There's a very specific kind of exhaustion that shows up right before your life changes forever. And it's not the kind of tired you feel after a long day, or the burnout of pushing yourself too hard for too long. No, this one is different. It's the kind of exhaustion that comes from carrying an identity that no longer fits you. The weight of trying to live inside an old version of yourself, while something new, something bigger, is trying to be born. You felt it, haven't you? That restless energy in your chest, that strange tension that makes it impossible to fully relax into your routines. It's like your life doesn't quite fit anymore. Conversations that once excited you now leave you empty. Goals that used to feel important now feel meaningless. People you used to rely on suddenly feel distant. Everything feels charged with both possibility and uncertainty at the same time. And deep down, you know something is shifting. That's not your imagination. That's not just stress. That's not you being dramatic. What you're feeling is the unmistakable frequency of breakthrough. Most people never reach this point. They live their entire lives in the safe middle, between wanting change and actually stepping into it. They dream about something different, but when life starts to rearrange itself to answer those dreams, they panic. They pull back. They tell themselves it's not the right time. And so they spend decades stuck in limbo, craving transformation, but never fully allowing it. But you're not most people. You wouldn't be here reading this if you were. Whether you realize it or not, you've been training for this moment your entire life. Every time you chose growth over comfort, every time you confronted the hard truth instead of hiding from it, every time you stayed in the discomfort of change rather than retreating into what was easy, you've been building the capacity to handle what's happening right now. Here's what nobody tells you about breakthroughs. They don't arrive with trumpets and neon signs. They don't come with a countdown timer or a warning label. They don't look like fireworks. Breakthroughs slip into your life disguised as ordinary moments that feel anything but ordinary. They arrive in the silence, in the discomfort, in that liminal zone between who you've been and who you're becoming. And the first price they demand is always the same: letting go. And right now, you're in that in-between. You can feel your old identity shrinking around you like clothes 2 sizes too small. But the new identity hasn't fully emerged yet. It's uncomfortable, it's unsettling, and at times it feels unbearable. But this is the most powerful place a human being can ever stand. The place of transition. Think about your own life recently. Haven't things felt different? Some relationships are suddenly tense, as if they can't survive in the new frequency you're moving into. Conversations that once made sense now feel hollow. Old goals that used to motivate you now leave you unfulfilled. This isn't a crisis, it's clearance. Life is clearing out everything that doesn't belong in the chapter that's waiting for you. And yet, here's the twist. Your breakthrough is probably not going to look like what you expect. It won't be a cinematic moment where the skies open, the music swells, and suddenly everything makes sense. Real breakthrough is far less dramatic, but infinitely more powerful. It feels messy. It feels confusing. It feels like being cracked open. It's not the world outside that's rearranging first. It's you, your nervous system, your patterns, your choices. You're being expanded, not in the sense of doing more or achieving more or checking more boxes on society's definition of success, but in your capacity for truth, your capacity for authenticity, your capacity to hold the fullness of who you are without apology. And that expansion always feels like breaking before it feels like breakthrough. Maybe you've already noticed it. You're speaking differently. You're setting boundaries that once felt impossible. You're saying no where you used to say yes out of guilt. You're walking away from situations you once tolerated. And with each of these shifts, you're stepping more fully into who you were always meant to be. This is what breakthrough really is. It's not a finish line. It's not a single victory moment. It's a way of being you grow into. Your breakthrough is making you dangerous, in the best possible way. Dangerous to systems that require your compliance. Dangerous to relationships that depend on your dysfunction. Dangerous to industries that profit from your insecurity. You're becoming someone who can't be controlled, manipulated, or convinced to betray the truth of who you are just to maintain the comfort of others. This danger isn't aggressive or confrontational. It's the quiet, unshakable worth of someone who knows their own absolute value. It's the danger of someone who moves with clarity without needing to defend it. Someone who makes choices from alignment without needing to justify them to people who never saw the full picture anyway. Someone who speaks truth. And here's what makes it even harder. People around you will notice it before you do. Some will celebrate the change. They'll see your growth as a mirror for their own. But others, they'll resist it. Not because you're doing anything wrong, but because your evolution forces them to confront their stagnation. Your breakthrough threatens their comfort. And when people are comfortable, they don't like to be reminded of what they're avoiding. That's why they may criticize you. They may question you. They may try to pull you back into the old patterns. But you've outgrown the job of managing other people's comfort. Your allegiance now is to your own becoming. And that shift will feel selfish at first. You might feel guilty. You might worry you're abandoning people. But the truth is, you're learning to love them from a place of wholeness rather than need. You no longer depend on their approval to validate your choices. And when you stop outsourcing your worth, something extraordinary happens. The energy you once spent managing everyone else's perception of you is suddenly free. Free for creation, free for vision, free for possibility. And that's when life accelerates. You start noticing patterns, not conspiracy theory patterns, real ones. The right people appear at the right time. Conversations that change everything happen out of nowhere. Books, songs, messages, all start arriving exactly when you need them. This isn't magic. This is alignment. This is what happens when you're tuned to the frequency of breakthrough. You become fluent in a language the universe has been speaking to you all along, but you weren't listening. And the strangest part, it doesn't feel mystical. It feels normal. It feels like you've finally been seen clearly for the first time in your life. Decisions that used to paralyze you become obvious. Problems that once haunted you dissolve with shocking simplicity. Fear is still there, yes, but it no longer controls you. Fear becomes a signal instead of a stop sign. This is the nervous system of someone in breakthrough. Less control, more trust, less panic, more presence, less running, more receiving. And here's the part most people won't get. Yes, it will cost you. Some people will drift away. Some relationships will collapse. Some versions of you will have to die. But that loss isn't punishment. It's space. Space for something bigger than you imagined. Not bigger in terms of fame or money or external recognition, but bigger in terms of impact. Bigger in terms of the ripple effects your authenticity will create in this world. Because when you stop pretending, people notice. Your honesty becomes permission. Your courage becomes contagious. Your alignment becomes a catalyst. You don't even have to try to inspire people. Your very existence and truth challenges them to step into their own. That's why breakthrough often feels so lonely. Because you're not just changing yourself, you're disrupting the entire ecosystem of expectations, agreements, and roles that were built around the old version of you. And while some people will rise with you, others will fall away. Both outcomes are perfect. Both outcomes are necessary. The timing of this moment is not random. It's happening because you finally have the capacity to handle it. You've earned it. Through failures, through courage, through every moment you thought you'd break but didn't. So if you're here, if these words have been hitting different than they would have months ago, you already know what I know. Comment down. I'm allowing it. If you're ready for your breakthrough, this isn't just another video you stumbled across. This is confirmation of something that's been building inside you for longer than you realize. Your breakthrough isn't coming. It's here. It has been here longer than you realize, quietly waiting in the spaces between your doubts and your clarity. It's been lingering in the background of your life, present in every moment of discomfort, every nudge to grow, every whisper urging you to look beyond the familiar. Your breakthrough didn't suddenly appear. It has been unfolding piece by piece in ways you may not have consciously recognized. It has been waiting patiently for you to stop searching outside yourself, to stop chasing signs and confirmations, and to understand something powerful. It was never separate from you. It has always been a part of your becoming. And the truth is, it no longer needs your permission. Breakthroughs don't wait for perfect readiness. They don't pause until you feel confident or unafraid. A breakthrough activates the moment you stop resisting it, the moment you acknowledge that your life has already shifted. It's not waiting for you to catch up intellectually. It's waiting for you to catch up energetically. And now you're right on the edge, staring at the new version of yourself that has been knocking on the door. The only question left is simple, but life-defining. Will you move with it, or will you fight it? Will you allow this new version of yourself to finally step forward? The version that has been quietly growing within you, preparing, strengthening, expanding. Or will you cling to the familiar identity that no longer feels like home? Will you hold on to the habits, beliefs, and relationships that once made sense, but now feel too small? Will you keep wearing the emotional and spiritual clothes that no longer fit you? Because breakthroughs don't always announce themselves with grand celebrations. Often, they are revealed in the tension between who you've been and who you're becoming. You can feel it when the old ways begin to feel uncomfortable, when the old patterns start to feel suffocating, when the old identity feels like a costume you've outgrown. The question is whether you will keep forcing yourself to fit into it, or whether you will allow yourself to grow into the new space that is already forming. You don't need to wait until you feel ready. Readiness is often a disguise fear uses to delay your evolution. You don't need to have everything figured out before you take the next step. Life rarely hands anyone a full roadmap. What it gives you is a direction, an instinct, a pull that feels too strong to ignore. You don't need to convince anyone else to approve, agree, or understand your journey. Your breakthrough is not a group project. It's a personal awakening, a recalibration of your entire being. Breakthrough isn't something that magically appears one day while you're waiting. It's something you step into. It's a choice you make. It's a threshold you cross the moment you decide to stop shrinking for the comfort of others and stop abandoning yourself for the sake of old expectations. And that door, the door to your next chapter, is already open. You're not locked out. You're standing at the entrance, hesitating only because the path ahead is unfamiliar. But unfamiliar is not the same as unsafe. Unfamiliar is simply the territory of growth. So here's my challenge to you, a challenge that is less about motivation and more about recognition. Stop asking whether you're ready. Stop delaying your transformation by waiting for the perfect emotional conditions. Stop telling yourself you need more time, more clarity, more preparation, more certainty. Those are stall tactics created by an old version of you that is afraid of being replaced. Instead, ask yourself one question, a question that cuts through the noise, quiets the fear, and demands honesty. What am I going to do about it? Not, what should I do someday? Not, what if it doesn't work? Not, what if I fail? Not, what will people think? But, what am I going to do now, knowing that my breakthrough isn't coming, but has already arrived? What choices will I make differently today, knowing that life has shifted in my favor? What conversations will I stop having with myself, the ones that keep me small, afraid, uncertain? What habits will I release because they cannot travel with me into this next version of myself? What opportunities will I stop rejecting because I finally understand they were meant for me all along? This is where everything changes. Not when the breakthrough appears, but when you respond to it, when you take responsibility for your becoming, when you decide that you are done rehearsing and ready to step into the role life has been preparing you for. Because your breakthrough is not coming, it's already here. It's in the way your perspective has shifted. It's in the way your heart responds differently to things that once triggered you. It's in the way certain situations no longer hold power over you. It's in the way you're starting to see yourself with a clarity you didn't have before. It's in the way life has been rearranging itself around you, creating openings, removing obstacles, aligning opportunities, even when you didn't realize that's what was happening. You are already living in the beginning of your breakthrough. The signs are everywhere. In your discomfort, in your clarity, in your restlessness, in your desire for something more aligned, more meaningful, more honest. Breakthrough doesn't always feel like excitement. Sometimes it feels like shedding. Sometimes it feels like confusion. Sometimes it feels like standing between two versions of yourself, the one you've outgrown and the one you are still learning to trust. But make no mistake, this is your moment, not a future moment, not a one day when everything aligns moment. not a moment dependent on circumstances or other people. Now, your breakthrough is here, and it is asking you to choose yourself in ways you never have before. It is asking you to trust your inner knowing more than your outer fear. It is asking you to show up not as who you've been, but as who you are becoming. So the question stands, what are you going to do about it? Because your breakthrough is not on the horizon. It's already unfolding under your feet, over your head, and within your heart. All that's left is for you to step into it.